Hey crafty friends, this is Nye with All Things Were Created. Today we are going to assemble our 4th of July Freedom Popsicles layered paper craft. I'm going to be using my art glitter glue for all of my gluing here. And as you can see, I already have my pieces there cut out. I have them also in the order that I want for gluing. And for this craft here, you're really not going to have a lot of choices with adding different colors. There's only so many colors and variations that you can do. I mean, if you wanted to, you could have made the stripes in the blue and the top part of the popsicle here in red, but there really just isn't a lot of variation that you can do with this one. So what we're going to do is just get started right away with our gluing. And so all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my top layers here, I'm flipping them over, and I'm going to just begin to glue and then take each layer and then just glue it on top of the layer that I have here at the bottom. And that's all I'm going to do. So what I'm going to start now is just adding my glue kind of everywhere to the edges here. I'm not really going to do too much in the center because my edges are really going to hold the paper, and I don't really have to worry about anything getting caught because this is exactly the same size as this one. It's just changing the colors and adding the different layers. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pick up my back layer and I'm going to use my fingertips here to hold it and then place my top layer that I'm gluing directly down. And I'm going to kind of keep everything between my fingers and oh, this one kind of got a little stuck. But I'm going to keep everything between my two fingers, and that's I'm going to use as my guide to get those layers right on top of each other and in the right position. Okay, so there you can see it. It took me a moment, but I was able to do it here. Okay, and then I'm just pressing it down, and I'm going to do the same thing now for this white layer. So again, I'm going to be a little bit more careful here because this is not a solid piece, but I'm still going to do the same thing, and really that's just adding my glue everywhere. And I'm coming in and I'm adding it along the areas where it was cut. And then I'm just adding one across the center there. Okay, and then same thing as before. I'm actually going to hold it, I think, here at the ribbon and placing it right down on top to get it in that spot, and then pressing everything down. So as you get to the upper layers with gluing, that's when you're going to find that you're going to have to add a little bit more glue. So as you can see here with my blue layer, there's a lot more pieces that are cut out. And so that's where you're going to kind of need to take your time as you're coming in and adding the glue. And where the pieces are cut out, you do kind of want to make sure that you get in between there, because that's where your paper can snag when you're packing it away later. And that's where you have the potential to have a rip once it gets snagged. I just got the glue on my hand there, but that's okay. So as you can see, I think, well, I'll go ahead and do this one here. So like I said, I'm just kind of coming in and I'm adding the glue at all the areas where it's cut. And I'm going to add one right in the center there. And same thing as before, I'm going to grab these edges at the ribbon, and that's where I'm going to line it up. So I've got this one right there. And there, perfect. And then just pressing it down. If you have any glue that's seeping through, you don't have to worry about, whether or not you're going to have a blob of white glue, because if you're using the art glitter glue like I am, it dries clear, and so you won't have anything to worry about. And so same thing again as before with this next red layer. I'm just kind of going along the edges here. And this, again, when you start to get to the top 3 layers here, you do kind of want to make sure that you're taking your time as you're gluing, because especially at the top, because this part here, it's just really thin. And even though it's thin and it's not difficult to cut, it's a good spot where it could get snagged. Okay, and I'll just add another spot right in the center there. So same thing as before, I'm grabbing it here at the ribbon, and that's what I'm using to line it up. And again, there we go. Okay, and then if you have some glue seeping, you could always use a paper towel to wipe. I have a little bit right here. So you can use your paper towel just to wipe any areas where the glue might be coming through. All right. And so now the second to last layer. So these top two layers were really hard for me. I knew I wanted to add a word to it that was representing what Memorial Day and 4th of July are. And sorry, I got distracted there and quiet because I was just so focused on my gluing. But for this top layer with the colors, this is where you could add your own personality in whatever color you want. I had a tough time choosing it because I didn't want it to clash with the red, white, and blue at the back and even the tan part of the popsicle. So I had a hard time kind of coming up with what I wanted this color to be. And so I chose the gray because I felt like it was kind of subdued. That would still allow the popsicle and the effect of the popsicle, you know, like how it's representing the flag. I felt like that was still able to come through here, but I don't know. I wanted more color. So if you came up with a color that's different from the gray like mine, I would love to see what you came up with. So be sure to, you know, send me an email or come find me on Facebook or Instagram and post me a picture so I can see, tag me in your picture so I can see what yours turned out like. And so now for this top layer, there's a lot more cut out on the top layer here. And as before, you do kind of want to make sure that you're coming in and getting all of the different areas with the glue. And I know it seems kind of tedious, but you just don't want anything to snag and rip. When you're putting it away, or even like if you're hanging it, you want it to be completely secure and complete. And so I'm just kind of coming around, getting all in between the letters, all of the little spots. It doesn't really need a lot of glue here. You can tell that what I'm doing is, mine's really light and it's somewhat sporadic because as I lift, it becomes almost like a dashed line instead of a solid one there. So let me just get the spot here, make sure I didn't miss anything. And that looks pretty good. And so this one's going to be a little harder to do, to lay down, because there's not a lot of the cardstock to hold on to since it's more of the outline. And I'm going to be very gentle as I place it and kind of making sure that it's lined up as I'm doing that final press. And there we go. That looks good. Okay, so I really hope you guys enjoyed this craft and that you enjoy celebrating the holiday. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to send me an email or tag me on Facebook or Instagram so I can see what yours looks like and what color combination you came up with. And I hope you enjoy it. Happy crafting.